I start solid foods? And what should I start? What should I give my baby first? If these are questions you've had, I'm here to help clear the air on starting solid foods in babies. If you're new to the channel, my name is Dr. E. I'm a board certified pediatrician. I'm also a mom. I love making fun and helpful videos here on YouTube about pediatrics, parenthood, infants, and just my general life as a physician. I would love if you would subscribe to the channel. You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok. My username is the primary pediatrician on all platforms. Let's talk solid foods. One of the biggest questions I get asked in my clinic as a general pediatrician is, when can I start solid foods with my baby? And this is kind of how I break down starting solid foods. I usually tell families when your baby is able to hold their neck up and sit in a high chair unassisted, and also when they show interest in foods. So if they're watching what you're eating, or they're watching what the older siblings at the table are eating, if they're following your spoon with their eyes, these are all signs that they're starting to get interested in food, and it might be a good time to start sitting them in the high chair and getting them used to the table. That's usually how I recommend getting babies started with solid foods, is putting them in the high chair, getting them involved, showing them how everybody else is eating, just involving them in the process at the table before even starting solids at all. So once they're involved in this environment, this is typically around the 4 to 5 month mark. Once they're sitting in their high chair, they're holding their neck up, they're interested in foods, you can start with softer foods. Usually my first recommendation, and if you follow me on TikTok, you know this, is oatmeal. So baby oatmeal or oat cereal is really high in iron, and so it's a great first food. Newborns tend to be on the more anemic side anyways, so iron supplementation is important, and an easy way to do this is with oat cereal. This recommendation is doing this oat cereal a couple times per day. That way they're getting used to these solid foods. After they're used to this texture, you can move on to different purees. Usually I recommend starting with vegetable purees so they're not accustomed to that sweetness of fruits. So start with different vegetables, have them try all of the different purees, move on to fruits, and make sure you give their palate a good variety. So around the 6 month mark is a great time to start introducing table foods, or foods that you're eating or siblings are eating. There are some different thoughts on doing purees versus table foods, and so I'm not going to get into that in this video. In this video, I'm just talking about a general process of starting solids. Starting at 6 months, you can give babies foods that you're eating, but just make sure that they're soft. My recommendation is making sure that it's a food that you can crush just by pinching your fingers like this. This is about the strength of a baby's gums without any teeth. And so if you can pinch it between your fingers like a banana or a berry, then those are foods that are safe. I'll say it's important to make sure that these foods are cut up in a way that's appropriate for a baby. If you don't know how to cut something up that's appropriate for the age of your baby, there's a couple really good apps that can help with this. Also, a Google search can help. An app that I used for my baby was called Solid Starts, and I really liked it because it told me exactly how big the pieces should be for however old my baby was. So this video is not sponsored or anything, but I thought it was a really helpful app. So I will put that information down below. So starting these table foods is really fun because you get to see your babies becoming more expressive and showing you what they like and what they don't like. I do want to touch on something that's important. Probably heard your pediatrician say that we shouldn't give whole milk to babies less than 12 months. However, a confusing point in my clinic is oftentimes foods like yogurt or cottage cheese or mozzarella cheese, things that are made with whole milk. And things that are made with whole milk are okay to give. And it's okay that your baby has these things that are made with whole milk. We just don't want the sole form of nutrition for a baby to be whole milk. So sometimes that's confusing, and I oftentimes have families bring that up, and so I wanted to kind of address that here. Along with talking to families about what babies can eat, like soft fruits and vegetables, lean meats, families will have questions about what their baby shouldn't eat. And the biggest thing that I tell family is babies less than 12 months shouldn't have really any added sugar or processed sugar. So I try to avoid that. With that, we should avoid things like juice and things that are choking hazards. So things like chips and popcorn, hard nuts, and then something really important and a big take-home message when starting solid foods is no honey for babies less than 12 months. I won't bore you with the details on why. Basically, honey can harbor a really dangerous spore. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but that is the most important thing. Now, the spore isn't killed by boiling or baking or freezing, so no honey, even honey that's baked, no Honey Nut Cheerios, no cough syrup with honey, no honey before 12 months. And that's a really important point. Do you have tips on starting solid foods in babies? What are some of the first foods that you used with your baby? Leave them in the comments below. I'd love to take a look and read them. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have more ideas for videos for me, I'd love if you'd leave a comment and give me ideas. Also, go check out my TikTok. I've been posting a lot there, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.